Okay, next movie, and our next movie is Once Upon a Forest, an animated feature from the Hanna-Barbera studio that is right up to date and very politically correct. It uses its furry little forest animals to argue against pesticides and in favor of herbal medicine. As the movie begins, a wise old badger with the voice of Michael Crawford is teaching about the wonders of nature to a class of his students, young animals who are known in the forest as furlings.
Now, what is this, furlings?
I know. A willow, Cornelius.
Correct. And did you know its bark can be used to cure rheumatism?
Uncle Cornelius, what's rheumatism?
Then their idyllic sanctuary is invaded by men who release poison gas into the homes of the animals. One of their little friends goes into a coma, and the old badger sends the furlings on a desperate mission to gather up the rare herbs that can save her life.
But everything in our meadow's dead.
Then you must find another.
Another meadow?
There's no choice. You only have 2 days' time.
There are, of course, lots of adventures as the furlings wander into uncharted lands on their quest for the herbs. And to return home, they even build an airplane based on the old badger's homemade design.
Where are we? Right where we want to be.
Once Upon a Forest has its heart in the right place with its ecologically inspiring message about little animals trying to resist the chemicals and depredations of man, and in that way, its plot reminded me a little of last year's Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. But for a movie intended primarily for children, it tells a very depressing story. The poison gas seeps into the forest and actually kills the family of one of the little furlings, in addition to sending the heroine into that coma. So once again, we have a movie illustrating the curious law that in a majority of children's animated films recently, the parents seem to die right at the beginning of the movie. The film does have some nice qualities, but it's not a match for the much more positive view of the forest in another truly inspired current animated film, My Neighbor Totoro, and I cannot recommend it.
I can't recommend it. I didn't like it as much as you did, Roger. First of all, is there a furry creature there that any kid is going to remember when they walk out of the theater?
I don't think so,
Not a single one. The furlings, they could switch genders, they could switch coats, pelts, you name it. They all look the same. They're all boring.
Yeah.
The background drawing's bad. The songs aren't memorable. I thought it was a washout completely.
Yeah, but just to go back to this other issue, why is it in so many children's films, including some live-action films, where is the rule that the parents have to be killed off?
It was started by Disney
film?
in the classic films, and so when they imitate it now, they think that's the only way to trigger an emotion.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's I call it coin flip stuff and cheap stuff like this, where it doesn't have real mythic impact. It's little kids are sitting there, and at the end, his mom's dead, and then his mom comes back. It's just a coin flip, and it's worthless.
Coming up next, a review of Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park and a comment on its suitability for kids.
All major theme parks had delays. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.